Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 5, Episode 18, DJI Mini 3. The excitement is building. Marcus, how are you this evening?
Not doing too bad, Bill. You are absolutely correct. The excitement is building a lot, and honestly, there's not much left to the imagination, is there?
There really isn't. And, you know, we're going to kind of talk about that tonight. Some of the things that we haven't found. I mean, you know, I'm going to go over everything that we do know, and then there's a couple things we don't know yet. So we're going to go over that here in a little bit. And Ron's going to join us here more towards the bottom of the hour. But the first thing I kind of wanted to let's go ahead and greet people, because I think it's important to acknowledge everybody. Mr. Stephen Ewing is here. Michael Wright is here. Mike Krennick. Dr. Ted is in the house. Flying Flynn Media. Greg Pittman is here. Eric Kimball. Nick's High Check. Hal 9000. Akarasho. Jerry Bauer. Fly Guy Merrill. Jay Bird, Leonard Oglesby, Rex is here, and let's see, JSK Enterprise, Zach K, Drone Shots is in the house, Mike B, welcome, Mike. Glad you are here. All right, and Andrew Silverfox. All right, okay. First thing I want to go, you know, we got a lot to talk about tonight, but the first thing I wanted to do was, we have information already. We're pretty much I wanted to cover the South Florida Drone Meetup for 2023. The 2022 meetup was a huge success. Okay, and I got to press the flesh with yours with this wonderful co-host here. Okay, and yes, he does look better in person. Okay, than on video. All right, I will say that. Okay. So we got, I'm just going to go over a little bit here, because I want to make sure that you guys are aware of this. Now, it's the South. Make sure you join the group, South Florida Drone Meetup, all one word. And I'm going to go ahead and share this here. Now, good news is it's the same hotel as last year. Okay. Got to give Ray a lot of kudos for this. Okay. Great news. I just confirmed the Hampton Inns and Suites, Stuart North. They'd love to be official hotel of the third annual South Florida Drone Meetup. So it will be the official hotel of the third annual South Florida Drone Meetup. Rates will be the same, $139 for rooms and $149 for suites. Code is SFD. The dates available were extended. The dates will include March 29th, 2023 to April 4th, 2023. So there it is. All the information is there. Marcus, I'm gonna be booking in the next couple of days, because I don't want to miss. We missed out on getting there, and I think that's half the fun, is staying at the same hotel with everybody.
It really is, because there was so much networking done in the lobby down there. They had some big tables and stuff, and it was really an interesting dynamic to see, not just getting to know everybody, but sharing information. There were, like, in about 5 different tables, there were editing lessons being learned, sharing information on how to edit a video, what we do with our drones, etc. So I would say absolutely, it's really well worth it to stay at the hotel where the whole crew is.
Yeah, and the other thing is, it's like a stone's throw away from the where the actual meetup is. It's not that far.
That wasn't too far.
Yeah. So I mean, all in all, guys, if you can, mark it down. And I'm going to tell you this, okay? You really don't know what you're missing. All right. I can say that after having been there. It was one of the best drone experiences I've ever had. And it was, you know, and it wasn't the flying. I mean, I love to fly, but it had nothing to do with the flying. It was about pressing the flesh, talking to people, laughing, joking, just being around others. Okay. And it was a blast.
Bill, I still got a ton of video to edit from that trip.
I do too. I haven't done it yet, because I've been well, okay. Yesterday, just digress for just a little bit. It was my first day back in the office. I have to go in 1 day a week now, and then next month 2 days a week. And it's quite easy to roll out of bed, you know, and get into my office here and log on to work. It's another thing to drive almost an hour and 20 minutes to be there one way to get in and log in. But the nice thing is, in the office, because it's a telecommute schedule now. It was like working there on a Saturday. It was very quiet. There wasn't a lot of people there, which was, and I love it being quiet when it works there. Okay, I digressed enough there on that one. All right, now one of the other things that I wanted to talk about before we get to our main subject is, everybody's been focused on the Mini 3 with good reason, but we're, and I know Marcus has heard this too, and we've seen the signs. I mean, it's the heavy discounts and unavailability of the Air 2 really kind of indicate that it's at the end of its life, Marcus.
So I got to be honest with you, Bill. I haven't been paying much attention. So you're talking about the Mavic Air 2 or the Air 2S?
The Air 2, not the Air 2S. Okay, the Air 2S is, I think, still going to be around for a while.
Right.
It's still very popular, but it's hard to find go out to the websites and find them. Just a regular DJI Air 2.
Yeah, because they had it priced pretty aggressively, didn't they?
Yeah. It's been priced really aggressively, and and they do that for a reason. When DJI does that, that it's getting kind of towards the end of its cycle here, and with good reason, because and we're going to talk about the Mini 3 in a little bit, but the Air 2S, I mean, seriously, an argument could be made that right now it's one of, if not the best consumer drone that DJI has. I mean, it does almost everything you want a drone to do, and it's in a compact package too. I mean, really, and I got to say this, Marcus, I've never been more pleased from the start with a drone than I have with the Air 2S, and consistently throughout the time I had it.
Air 2S has been a home run. I took it with me on this trip that I just did, and flew it several times, and it is just for the money. Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It is the best value in consumer drones today, period, end of report. I mean, if you're looking at the whole package, what you get for your dollars, it's by far the best value.
I concur 100%. And I had nothing but praise for that drone. It was just, and right now they really didn't have any firmware update issues or anything off the get-go. You did all your initial stuff and boom, you were out the door flying. I mean, it was that good. It really, really, really just lent itself to just be a drone lover's drone. I mean, it really is.
Got all the features, right? It's got all the tracking, focus track, etc. I'm just trying to think. It's got master shots, quick shots, all that automated stuff that I like to do with it. It's got panorama, it's got hyperlapse. I mean, it really, and a 1-inch sensor, and it shoots in, I always get them confused. 5.4K, I think, on the Air 2S, and it's 5.2 on the Mavic 3. But and it looks phenomenal. It looks just great. So
yeah, it does. It really does. It handles the wind. It handles, the battery life is good on it. I mean, it really, it's a drone that you can't really find a fault with. And, really, and really, if you look at it, really, technically, it is under $1,000. Not the Fly More kit, but if you look at the drone by itself with a controller and a battery, it's right around $1,000.
Bill, I'm gonna take a look. Weren't they gonna put it on sale? I'm gonna look on the website.
It's gonna be on sale. Yeah, go ahead and look that up there.
And the other thing I wanted to add is Billy Kyle just posted on Twitter that it's still his go-to drone for commercial work that he does.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, that really is. So what I'm going to go over while Marcus is looking that up, and feel free to let me know when you do find that information. I wanted to let everybody know we're going to have a DJI Mini 3 release party. That's right. You heard it here. And we're going to have the cream of the crop as far as the experts are concerned. Let me go ahead and bring this page up here so you guys can go ahead and see this.
Bill, no sale that I see. It's
no sale. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Right now, I have it tentatively set for May the 10th at 9 a.m. But again, this is all subject to change. And I know we're going to talk a little bit more about this when we get to the Mini 3 here in a minute. But I'm of the opinion, I still say DJI's never released a drone on a Monday that I'm aware of. Okay. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays seem to be their days. Have not seen a drone released on a Monday. And I don't see them carrying that on here. If anything, if they say that Monday date, okay, it may be, I don't know where somebody's gotten that, because Jasper Ellens, and I kind of go by what he's saying. He says DJI's, and I agree with him. DJI's never released a drone on a Monday. Why would they start now? There's no cause for that. So, I'm more or less thinking on the 10th, it's going to be probably like at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, because when we had the last release, it was about that time anyway, Marcus.
Right.
Because of a time difference.
Yeah. Well, I can say this, Bill. Tuesday morning, I'll be at my Best Buy at their opening just to see if it happens.
Yeah, I hear you, and to me, and that's something that I kind of want to, as we segue into the Mini 3 here. One of the first things that I wanted to talk about, and we'll get Ron's take on this here in a little bit, but I'm thinking, and I've always been of this persuasion that they're already over here. They're in the stores. They're ready to go. Okay, there's not going to be any delays in getting this. All right, unless DJI intentionally puts one out there. I don't foresee that. I think it's going to be immediate stock. It's going to be immediate ship, and I think you'll see it at Best Buy. You'll get immediate ship from DJI. I think accessories are going to be available because DJI makes a lot of money, even though you get a good deal like on a Flymore kit. They make a lot of money on that. So, and I know you guys kind of talked a little bit about Best Buy last night and everything, and I don't mean to step on Barry's toes, and he does bring up some good points, but I do want to say this is, this is an opportunity, and I think you kind of alluded to it last night, Marcus, is DJI wants to have a successful launch and a successful release, okay? And Best Buy is a huge retailer for them. I would say probably nationwide, outside of DJI themselves, they're probably the largest distributor of DJI drones in the country, because at every Best Buy, you can find a DJI drone. Right. And you know how many Best Buys there are around the country. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll bet Costco sells a few as well.
You're probably right.
But they're not a retailer in the sense that you can't get any model you want at Costco like you could at Best Buy. I mean, I know that there are a lot of folks that are saying that it won't be available immediately. I'm not even going to hazard a guess, Bill. There's so many things going on right now, from COVID in China to part shortages to, gosh, who knows? I'm with you. I sincerely hope that on day one I can order it and get it shipped to me, but or better yet, pick it up at Best Buy. But we're just gonna have to find out next week.
Yeah, and what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna go through some of the tweets that are out there. And then we're going to go to a couple articles. I think one's on Drone XL. I think they're both. Two are on Drone XL. One's on Drone DJ. So let me go ahead and bring this up here. All right. OC11, no charger included. Oh, that's so Apple style environmental protective. And then you get to see two of the accessory packs. Obviously, that's a Flymore right there. And obviously, this is with the RC Pro. And this is interesting, Marcus, because I think you get to see the Gimbal Protector on here, and it's all inclusive. I mean, it really looks like it's going to. It looks like there's a inside there. There's a place to hold the lens, and a good place for it to snap onto. and it looks like it'll do a good job. I really kind of like that. Now, this is Jasper Ellen's. Three things. First, I heard Mini 3 Pro is very silent drone. Second, the image quality is far better than the Mini 2, maybe even touching Mavic 3 with the now again proved f1.7. Third, it's spotted in Wuhan in Germany. We even received original pictures with info. And I'm just going to flip through these right here because I'm sure you probably have seen these. It's kind of a grainy picture of the remote. And looks like Wuhan right there. And these are some pretty good night shots there, Marcus.
I'll tell you, that's the thing that every Autel fan hangs their hat on is the night capabilities with that RYYB sensor on the new Autel products. But I got to tell you, that looks pretty darn good, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
Now, Jasper Allen said her dealer prices without tax are found. Looks like all Mini 3 Pro accessories are sold as an option, not included in FMC. I'll maybe buy that last one for my wife. I don't know. Again, Mini 3 Pro intelligent flight battery. You can see these prices here, and of course, these are all European. DJI Mini 3 Pro with the DJI RC is apparently what they're calling that, and this is the regular DJI Mini 3 Pro without the DJI RC. Two-way charging hub, Mini 3 Pro Fly More kit, DJI Care refresh. Oh yeah, look at that. So all right, so let's go ahead here. One thing we're still missing in all these is the spec sheet of the Mini 3 Pro. Especially thank our Quant for this. You want even more info, join the community on Facebook. And you can see right here, this is the spec sheet. Does anything stand out to you that we didn't know already, Marcus, on this?
Bill, that's exactly when I saw that. I thought, well, this is just everything we already know. So
yeah, and that's what I said too. There's absolutely no surprises here. We get the weight of the. Now, what's real interesting here is it has the weight of the battery, but there's nothing here. The only thing that I would have liked to have seen a spec on is the extended battery. I think that would have been nice.
Couple open questions for me, Bill. Just like what you said, what is the extended battery? Does it put it over 250 grams? I suspect that it does, but we don't know that. Number two, I want to know how bright that screen is on the what do they call it, the DJI RC.
Right.
That's important to me. And I also would like to know whether, because they are now selling the drone individually, you can buy just the drone without a controller. Does that mean, Bill, that it is compatible with the current RC Pro? That would be a big deal. If you have, like Bill, you have an RC Pro, right?
I did. I don't have it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that would be, I know Ron does. Hey, why would you just buy just the drone then and maybe an extra battery and be good?
Now we're going to go over, I want to go over a couple of these articles here. DJI Mini 3 Pro test photos promise much improved camera. You can see this picture here, which is exceptional. And then there's another picture here, which I think we've already seen. And then there's another one here. And then we're going to go here. DJI Mini 3 Pro listed on UK retailers' website today. That's actually been taken down off of Argos. I went out there. That's no longer on there. But if you remember when the Mavic 2 Pro came out, the big leak was Argos had leaked it, and it was in their catalog before it came out. Do you remember that, Marcus?
I do remember that. Yeah.
And that was a really big to do that they had that. And then let's see right here. Okay, DJI Mini 3 Pro specs leak ahead of rumored May 10th launch, and you get to see again. Here we are with the specs itself. And again, everything that I post here, just to let you guys know, it's out on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group and page, so you guys can go ahead and take a look at this at your leisure. And you can obviously there's some more pics. Interesting, the buying options listed on the leak spec sheet kit. DJI Myself Fly More combo also as an accessory rather than an actual bundled kit with a drone. has been the case previously. This also corroborates another leak by Ellens today, where he claims all the accessories will be optional buys. Marcus, what do you think of that? The DJI's not going to put it as a kit with the drone, but as an accessory.
I love it. I love it, and because that just gives you more options. Just buy it as, just like with the Mavic 2, you buy it as a separate little kit, and probably from DJI's perspective, it makes packaging easier and more efficient. So I'm definitely, Bill, I will definitely get the Fly More kit, and I really want both kinds of batteries, the extended version and the normal version. Well, now let me modify that. If the extended version puts it over 250 grams, I will want to have some standard batteries as well.
Right.
If it does not, if it's still under 250 with the extended battery, then everything will be the extended battery.
Now, see, I'm the same way. I want to get the RC Pro and I want to get the Fly More kit, but I also want to get one of the extended batteries. And and I think that's gonna be interesting. And I'm also real curious. And I haven't really, this is going to take a lot of testing on our parts, which I think is going to be fun. Is the SD card that you put in this? Okay, you're going to have to pick. You're going to have to get probably one of the larger size ones that this drone will take, because if you're able to be up there, and I know it says 47 minutes, but roughly, I'll subtract 10. So I'll say maybe 40 minutes you'll get off of this, okay? Just a real world kind of a thing, okay? If you're shooting for 40 minutes while you're up there, okay, and you're shooting 4K 60, okay, you better have a pretty big SD card, because it's going to be eating up a lot of memory.
I agree. Hey, Bill, I have a source in North Texas that tells me that the extended battery puts it over 250 grams.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that. In Australia, here we go. In Australia, remote ID is going to be starting in 2024. Systems are in place already for drone identification, airport flight path already. Okay, because I know that's another question that I've been getting. I've been getting some emails and some other posts on that about this being remote ID ready, and that's a good question. We haven't really seen a whole lot on that either. That's one of the things that I wanted to talk about that's missing. You haven't seen anything about that, have you, Marcus?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about, that we normally have by now, is it's out on the FCC database, and it's not there yet. That's a real mystery.
Yeah. So, but Bill, isn't it you that told me that they could just do that almost the same day?
They did that with the Spark. Okay. When the Spark came out, it came out the same day as the Spark. Now, what was real interesting, though, was a lot of the leaked photos of the Spark were those test bench photos that they do for the FCC, where it's on that graph.
That graph, right?
Yeah. Right. And you get to see how big it is and everything, and that kind of boggled my mind that they released those pictures, but it wasn't on the FCC database until then. Now, one of the things that a lot of people, and I've done a lot of extensive looking on the FCC database, and one of the things you can find out from that is DJI will list on there how long of a time they can keep something proprietary. In other words, say like the owner's manual or data sheets or things like that come with a drone. They'll give it a period of time, and they'll have an expiration date on there. Let's say, it'll start on May the 1st, and, it'll expire on May 31st. So, that release is going to happen sometime between May 1 and May 31, because after May 31st, it's out there and available to the public. Okay. That's what these kind of things mean, because I had to do a lot of deep diving into some of these to kind of figure out what's going on with it. And you kind of got to know what to look for. It will list the communication systems and the frequencies that are used. And the best thing you can do with that is compare them to previous drones and to go out there and look at current drones. And that will kind of give you a little clue as to what's going on as far as the communication protocols are concerned for the drone. One of the interesting things that I saw, Marcus, was in the spec sheet, and this was real interesting, and I really liked it. It said, let me go ahead. Let's see if I can find that again. Where is it? It talked about range with signal interference. Okay. And I don't know if you saw this or not. And that really kind of piqued my curiosity because this wasn't something that I had seen. And I wish this could get bigger. But it says right here, range with signal interference, strong signal interference about 1.5 to 3 kilometers, medium signal interference 3 to 7 kilometers, weak signal interference 7 to 12 kilometers. Okay. Which in other words, it's really kind of telling you, and this is part of the FCC test that they do this is to kind of, they'll put some interference out there to see how long, what the reach is. Hey, Ron, how are you, sir?
What? Ron Brown is here?
Good night, everyone, and welcome into the show. Thanks for having me. I heard you talking about the signal strength in weak areas. They could just send that drone over to Mikey to test in his neighborhood in Philadelphia if for signal strength.
Yeah, and this was one of the interesting things that I saw when I was looking at these stats because we knew just about everything else. This really says it's out there on the FCC database. It has to be because that's where this information comes from. They're the ones that I'm sure DJI does their own in-house testing, but the FCC has to do this kind of testing here in the United States to see how it handles to signal interference.
Can you imagine a lucky guy over the at the FCC that gets to test these drones?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Can I apply for that job, Bill?
I'd love to apply.
Hey guys, I gotta interrupt you for just 1 second. I saw something really important in the chat. Philly Drone Life is here. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the show, but Mikey is in the chat.
He heard me drop his name as far as signal strength.
Yep.
Mikey, you need to be the one testing this, Mini 3 out for signal strength, buddy.
Yeah.
Do it in South Philly.
Well, how about that? Mikey's with us tonight. Mikey, good to have you in the chat.
And Air Photography's out there too.
Oh my goodness. And Sean. Well, welcome, Sean.
All of these celebrities.
Wow, we got all the celebrities.
Bill, you got the inside scoop on this Mini 3. You get them all in the house tonight.
Well, I tell you what, we got the cream of the crop. I know Ray Kelly's out there, and I'm sure Johnny's out there. We got Michael Wright out there. I mean, we got the whole house here tonight. Okay.
Bill, they used to call it the cream of the crop, right?
That's right. And it's the real deal, as they say. Okay. It is absolutely the real deal here. So, one of the things that I wanted to go back to, and I know we kind of touched on it before you joined us, Ron, and I kind of wanted to get your take on it, and I know you guys talked about availability of the drone. First of all, I think, and I know I dropped it in your chat last night, it's going to be on the 10th. Jasper Ellens has said DJI's never released a drone on a Monday. I don't see it being released on a Monday. That's not going to happen. What are your thoughts on that?
Marcus, wasn't there a drone that wasn't released? Somebody released a drone during the middle of Drone Nation.
Yeah, we were talking about that. What wasn't that the original Mavic Air 2?
I can't recall at this point.
Yeah.
But some drone came right out in the middle of the show once.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't say it was DJI, but I mean, Hubson and Fimi don't really have big releases, so it couldn't have been them either, right?
No, heck, yeah, that's what I was going to say. The other thing
did you the follow up on that? I don't think I said it last night, but I think somebody said in the chat. A lot of people expected on the 9th and 10th for sale, but not to ship until the 28th. Have you been hearing that, Bill?
No.
That's going around a lot that it won't ship until the 28th of May.
Now, see, if they do that, and Marcus and I kind of touched on this a little bit here, Ron, if they do that, I think that's intentional, okay? Because I think the product is in hand. It's here. It's ready to go, okay? Now, what may be the delay, and I was just kind of sizing this up because, we talked about how the accessories, it's going to kind of be, the Fly More kit's not going to be a part of the drone itself. It's going to be listed as an accessory. Okay?
Old school, like the Mavic Pro.
Right. Now, what I think is what I think the problem is, I think there's plenty of the RC of the DJI Mini 3 Pro and with the RC combo and the regular one. I think those are in stock. Okay. What I think they're waiting to do is to get up to stock with all the accessories. Okay. I think the initial drones will be available, and I think the only way DJI holds these back is to wait to get, because people will say, well, the Fly More kit's not out there. I wanted to get a Fly More kit, or the extended battery's not available yet. I want the extended battery kind of a thing, but the basic kits are. And I think what DJI may do, and this kind of makes some sense, is wait till they build up enough inventory with the accessories so that people can order, their Mini 3 or Mini 3 with a regular controller and get their accessories, the Fly More kit, the extended battery, and everything else.
Everything at once, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Sean over there, photography says, I really hope that's not, that's not right. That's the 28th, because he cleared his whole month of May. The mess.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Well, you know what, and Sean, I hear you about that. And one of the things now, what's real interesting for us is the weather down here in Florida. It is so topsy-turvy right now. It's not funny. One day it's nice sunshine, clear blue skies, and then 10 minutes later we're getting what I would call the usual thunder showers, but they're happening a lot more often than you would like, and the wind is just too much right now.
Bill, listen, we're forecasted for snow on Mother's Day, so what is that?
Yeah, and well, I remember we had one May. I lived in Columbus. We had one May in Columbus. It was a Sunday. There was snow on the ground, and I'm like, yeah. This weather is just completely topsy-turvy. And that's the only thing right now that's even kind of holding me up. Because
real quick, speaking of Ohio and Columbus, I see the old Cincinnati Reds are off to a rough start this year.
Yeah, well, they're right in step with the Pirates too. So
sorry about the baseball thing there, but I couldn't resist the Ohio reference there.
Oh, they're right in line with the Pirates. Now the Guardians are doing well. Okay. You know who
if you can answer this question, chat, there'll be a free Bill the Drone Reviewer T-shirt sent your way. Just kidding. Yeah. Just kidding.
Don't get me started on them changing from the Indians to the
Guardians. Don't get them riled up.
Don't get me started on that. Okay. Yeah. Anyway,
we better pivot right back to the Mini 3.
We're pivoting right back to the Mini 3. Okay. One of the things that I did see, and I know Marcus had, that's one of his outstanding questions, but I did see this somewhere where somebody had mentioned in one of the tweets, and I don't know if it was one of the Jasper Ellen tweets or out on his Facebook group, is that somebody had already stated that the DJI RC Pro, or the DJI RC is I think they're going to call it, is going to be at least 1,000 nits. Okay.
Ooh.
I'll tell you what, that's a home run, guys.
And still is only going to cost like an additional $250, $300. It sounds like a win-win to me, Bill.
It is. And, I've already, I'm like Marcus, okay, because, I'm going to get the DJI, the one with the DJI RC. I want to get the Fly More kit. Plus, I want to get at least one of those extended batteries.
Oh, you want it all, Bill.
I do. But, it's like, here's the thing. And this is something else that we were talking about, Ron, and I wanted to get your take on this. You're going to need to have a really largest capacity SD card you can probably get for this drone in there if you're going to be up in the air for 35
or film a lot of 1080p.
Yeah. You're going to have to, okay? Because if you're shooting 4K 30 or 4K 60 with this, your SD card's going to get filled up in probably about 20 minutes.
You said about 4K 60, even though as you always say, kudos to having 4K 60 main drone, but the one thing that will separate a little bit from our beloved Mavic Air 2S and our Mavic 3 is it won't have 5K video like our bigger drones.
Mm-hmm.
That's something nobody's talking about. It won't lack the 5K video Marcus has his. Marcus, you better return that for the 256 version.
Yeah, no, that'll be that. I think 128 will be plenty because this is what I use in both the Air 2S and the Mavic 3. And thank you, Lon Dennard, for putting me onto these. This is a great card. It's the best.
Samsung makes some great cards.
Yeah.
I mean, I have them in both my phones, both my Samsung phones, and they're exceptional. I really like them, and I'm probably going to get some of those for the Mini 3 when it comes out as well too.
Hey, listen, Mikey's talking about the update for the GPS issue, and some of this waiting, maybe they want to get that final firmware update to fix all the satellite issues if the Mini 3 is using some of the same hardware and software issues.
Well, did you notice in the specs, Ron, that it is not going to use GLONASS? And I don't know about you guys, but I don't give a damn if I ever use another Russian satellite. So
yeah,
it worked for me.
That's a selling point as far as we're concerned, right?
That's
we like the Galileos. Who is the Galileo satellites US?
No, that's European.
Oh, yeah. Well, we like the Europeans. Mostly.
European's good.
GPS is US. Galileo is the EU.
And everybody likes to say Galileo more than GLONASS.
Galileo sounds cool, doesn't it? I know. I totally agree.
Absolutely. It does sound a whole lot better than that.
Hey, Cliff Cotton saying, telling you, Bill, that we have not heard anything about the video bit rates or 8-bit versus 10-bit color. That's a good thing to bring up, Cliff, because, a lot of people have been hard on the Nano Plus because it doesn't have 10-bit color. And I guess because they don't say they have it, I guess I'm going to assume this only has 8-bit.
I'm
just assuming. I don't know that.
And again, that's one of the very few remaining missing specs that we don't know is if it's 8-bit or 10-bit. My guess, just off the top of my head, it's probably 8-bit. Because remember here, and this is something that I want to kind of get everybody to kind of understand here. DJI's really, they're going to do what Hubsan failed to do, okay, and what Fimi failed to do. And I'm gonna say, and I'll get some smacks and oh no, how can you say this about Autel and what Autel failed to do? Okay, out of the start, out of the gate, okay, this will be the mini drone to own. All right,
no question about it. I totally agree with you.
Now, Bill, don't pre-review. I say don't pre-review this drone until it's out. I mean, right now it's no better or no worse than anybody else's drone. No pre-reviewing on these shows.
That's a good. Well, no, you are making a good point, Ron. I mean, all kidding aside.
I mean, the specs look great. I'll give you that. Specs look great, and I'm saying both ways. I've seen people out in the forums. They'll tell me that the Mini 3 is the best mini drone ever made. The camera is better than any camera ever made. Now I see other people say that other drones, such as Autel, are going to be much better than the Mini 3. Well, I don't know how without actually seeing the footage. You can say anything you want. It's a free country, whatever. But I like to not pre-review until I've actually seen the goods. What do we say, Bill? The proof's in the pudding on this stuff, right?
Yeah, the proof
doesn't matter what the pudding says. Show me the actual video and pictures.
Yeah, and I agree. And, that's something else that we really haven't seen. We've seen some stills, okay, some stills at night. And that's a good bellwether, okay, because in order to get those kind of stills, it has to have some good low light capability to do it. Like we experienced the first time with the Mavic 2 Pro, okay, having that low light capability. And we've seen it in the pictures. But I think that one of the other things, and we're starting to add up a laundry list of a lot of things, and one of them is seeing a good quality video from the Mini 3. We haven't, there's been nothing out there about that yet.
None of those kind of leaks. Yeah. Hey, before we lose it, Bill, I wanted to mention that Lon Dennard had mentioned earlier that he believes it to be 8-bit because they only have D-Cine-alike available. So that kind of makes sense. But
right.
Yeah,
and Cliff had a good point about the 8-bit. It'll still be like you said, a good market divider to keep the Air 2S relevant for people that want to record a 10-bit and go full D-Log editing.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
point.
and TX Michael Wright's out there. He got the Cleveland Indians question way back in the chat, Bill. So, Michael, we're going to send you out a pre-release Mini 3. Sit by the door all week.
You see that Bill, the drone reviewer sign behind Bill? It's hidden right behind that.
Yeah, it's back there. It's ready to rock and roll. Actually, okay, Holy Stone sent me a drone, so I'm gonna be reviewing that. Believe it or not.
Oh,
it's one of their more expensive ones. So
oh boy,
go figure. So we're gonna have some
that's funny
fun
because
with that.
Yeah, I sent that my grandson when I was in Seattle. I had sent him an HS-175 Holy Stone that they sent me for review, and his father took it really serious, right? And he's learning how to fly the thing. He could not get the props to fire up on that drone for nothing. It just wasn't going to go, So yeah, so there's Holy Stone.
Yeah, we're gonna, we'll have some fun with that. That's for sure. That'll kind of keep me occupied here.
It'll keep you occupied.
It'll keep you occupied.
You'll spend more time on that than you will the Mini 3 getting it going.
Well, we'll get kind of like, occupied, like meaning getting, filling, filling the time, putting that filler in to fill
pulling the rest of your hair out, Bill.
Yep. Well, there's not much left to pull out. That's for sure. Okay. Yeah, that's one of those deals. But yeah, that's one of the things. Anyway, all right. Let's kind of move on.
Wait, let's get off Holy Stone before we lose viewers.
Yeah.
This is not the Holy Stone preview show. Okay.
The Holy Stone release show will be a little bit later in the year.
Hey, Bill, I want you to know that we're laughing at the situation. We're not laughing at you.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know that.
Well, maybe a little bit.
I had to review a Holy Stone at the beginning of the year. So, Bill, it's your turn now.
It's my turn right now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
everybody did their time.
Yes, everybody's doing their penance and doing their time with this. So yeah.
And sorry if we have any Holy Stone fans in the chat. I pre-apologize.
Well, I also want to acknowledge Lon Dennard's in the chat. Lon, another esteemed expert along with Cliff Thompson.
And a man that would never fly a Holy Stone drone.
Yes, Lon, we know that you wouldn't, and with good cause.
A Fimi, he might fly a Fimi.
We understand.
He's a big fan of Fimi.
He is, yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad Lon's a fan of Fimi.
He loves the Horizon.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Don't even get me started on that. All right. Don't even get me started on that. So we've kind of touched base on a lot of stuff here regarding the Mini 3. We've seen just about every picture you can see of this. We've seen most of the specs. Okay. And one of the things I told Marcus, Ron, that I'm real interested in, one of the things that I haven't really seen it, and I don't know, somebody in the chat has and can know this, the specs of the extended battery. Okay. Beyond just the runtime on it. I know it's 47 minutes, how many milliamp hours it is, that type of information.
Well, Bill, one of the leaks that came up this weekend or last weekend, I should say, is that the extended life battery will actually be the same size and fit in the same case as the standard battery, but it will not have that 249 gram stamp on the back of it.
That's what a lot of folks are saying in the chat. Drone Guy among them have all said that. Several have, and I think Maddie said that in the chat. So, yeah, it seems like it's pretty clear that that's going to be over 250.
Right, because they moved the stamp.
Yeah.
We were almost jokingly worried that it would be bigger and stick out the back. Like, remember, Marcus, when Hubson made that extended battery that stuck out the back? So that will not be the case here. The battery will be the size. The weight may be different, but the exact size of the battery will be exactly the same as the regular battery.
I'm sorry, and I'm going to make a funny right here. It made that drone look pregnant. Okay, it was so odd. It just was. It was putting a round peg in a square hole kind of a thing. It just did not look right. But yeah, okay. And what's real interesting here, and the charging capabilities of the extended battery. You'll still be able to use what DJI gives you to charge it. So it tells me, the battery chemistry is probably still the same, which is interesting. So, and also too, while this is probably going to be great news for us here in the States, because we don't have that weight restriction, over in Europe and over in other countries, that 249 grams comes into play. So, they won't get the benefits of this extended battery. However, we'll see. I'm anxious to find out how much it weighs. I'm anxious to see the actual performance of that battery as well too, because normally you would think with something like this, you could probably shave, and this is just me. You probably shave at least 7 minutes off of that, realistically speaking, because of the environmental factors and real world flight and wind, all that kind of good stuff. At least 7 minutes. I'm thinking you're probably realistically looking at 39 to 40 minutes on that battery. I think that's where we're going to go with that.
It's probably going to put it a little bit ahead of the Mavic 3.
Yes.
Which gets anywhere from 35 to 40. Unless you're flying, like Marcus. What do you call that when you have a full throttle the whole flight, Marcus?
Full stick forward.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, unless you're flying full stick forward the whole flight or whatever, you can usually get about 35 to upper 30s on the.
I'm heavy on the throttle. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, so Marcus is getting less than that, but I'm saying in mixed flying, say using a combination of normal. What do you call the high speed mode on DJI? Sport mode. And city mode. If you use a combination of all three, you'll probably eke out 35 minutes or better.
Now, Lon brought up a point, and he talked about all the reviewers having the Mini 3 already and have putting it through its paces, and they're just waiting for a release date to put this up. And I have some good guesses who have them already. I'm going to guess Kelly has one. I'm going to guess Rick Smith has one. I'm going to guess Billy probably has one.
Yeah, these guys have been real quiet on social media lately, Bill.
Let's face it, Billy's probably got about 5.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably does.
And Kelly's probably had his since January 1st.
Probably, and Aldrin. And Sean's in the chat. I'm real surprised that they didn't send Sean one.
Hold it. We got another superstar that just joined, Bill. John Coopy is in the house.
Coopy's in the house. All the superstars.
Bill, guess what? John's actually thinking about getting the Mini 3 as his token camera drone among all his FPV gear.
Come on, Let's get real. Let's get real. He probably already has one, right?
Yeah, he probably has. See, he's being under the table with this and hasn't said anything about it. And he just was. He was talking a good game on Drone Nation on Monday night. And he was real good. It's always good, John. It's always good seeing you. Thanks for showing up in the chat. But you really kind of you had that poker face all night last night, and we can tell. Marcus and Ron and I, we know that kind of stuff, and we can see. So just kidding.
Back to your original point, Bill. It's hard to believe that somebody over DJI is not smart enough to realize if they sent Sean drones like this after their photography, how many extra drones would they sell? Like, if he had them on launch day and he got ahead of the game on the reviews.
And Sean, pat on the back, well deserved, because you're one of my favorite channels, and what I like about your reviews, you're no nonsense. You really stick to your subject at hand. You really are focused on whatever the title of your video is about. And you tell us and you show us, and we really appreciate that with you. You do such a great job, and you
always learn something from those videos, Bill. Something you can actually take out and apply yourself in the field.
Yeah, totally, because I've commented, on some of your videos, Sean, and and I know some other ones have too. Have said, they've learned so much about these drones from watching your videos. Okay, because you do very basic things with these. Okay. You show a lot of the basic functions and features and everything. And, it boggles my mind, the algorithm that DJI has to go through, or that they go through, to pick people to give the drones to do reviews on, and I know, and I've had it told to me several times, it's based on subscribers, and I get that. Okay. And I understand that. And Sean
got more subscribers than a couple of channels put together.
Yeah. Sean has, yeah.
Hey,
So,
I don't want to interrupt, Bill, but we got another celebrity, Barry Markowitz from the South Seas, just dropped in.
well, hey, Barry, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining tonight. It's tonight. It's just, I'm starstruck. I mean, there's so much, so
Everybody's in the house tonight, Bill.
Everybody's here tonight.
Frank Wang's probably getting ready to chime in.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. And it would be really, seriously, imagine what it would be like to get Frank Wang, obviously with an interpreter, unless he speaks English, to have him on a show. Okay.
Can you imagine he come on and say, I'm under DNA?
But it would be really nice to get him and to get his perspective on things. I would really, really like to be able to do that. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, the only thing he's afraid of is a whole bunch of people in the chat would ask if they could return their drones and crash your network.
Or you've got 73 watching right now. If you had Frank Wang, you'd have 73,000.
I sure would. I'd have everybody around the world watching me here.
We'd crash YouTube.
And you could do that, what do you call the tough interviews? You could browbeat him and say, when is that drone coming out, Frank? And you got to tell me, or you're under indictment.
Look what Lon dropped. Okay. Frank Wang does speak decent English. He's done interviews. So that would be great.
Well, we got to do one more interview over here.
Yeah. It really is. Is one of the famous Cincinnati Reds announcers said, we're rounding third and heading for home. Okay. That was one of the Reds announcers during the 70s. I listened to him a lot.
Yeah.
And that was one of the catchphrases. And we're heading home with this Mini 3. I mean, we're on the cusp of getting it. We're going to get,
and it's the Pete Rose of drones.
we're going to get
camels.
We're going to get that
4,000 hits.
Yeah, we're going to get that infamous email from DJI, like save the date with the time, in a teaser, a shadowy picture, and everybody's going to overanalyze the picture and say it's this and this and this and this and this when we've already seen everything. Okay, so there's no mystery. It's like I'm waiting for one of these days when because DJI knows we know everything, almost everything there is.
Unless the people have the blinders on like the horse. They haven't seen any of this. They got blinders on.
Okay, Bill, you're making a good point. But as we've all said in the past, they always give us something that we didn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
Speculate. What do you guys think it could be?
Go ahead, Ron.
Some new, flight mode or whatever, Master Shots version 2, V2.
That's exactly where I was going with it, Ron.
Yeah.
Some kind of an intelligent flight mode that we haven't even thought of yet. And then once we see it, we'll go, oh, yeah, I have to have that.
And Marcus has the basis of the fact that remember the Spark was released, that were the first ones to have the Tiny Planet thing on them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Drone guys
was the only Tiny Planet drone DJI had for probably a short time, but a time.
Yeah. Drone guys said acro mode. Well, maybe.
Well,
we'll call that the John Coopy mode.
Yeah. And you can use your DJI goggles with it.
Oh, that's another good rumor.
Ooh.
Oh, look, Lon's got good with gestures controls point 2. Bill, remember we used to have to make the crazy gestures that make your Spark.
Oh, with the Spark. Oh my gosh. I did get it to work.
Was the only one that ever got all the gestures down right.
I did get it to work once. Okay. And I have it on film somewhere. It's in my archives. I did get that to work once. Lon, thanks for putting that in there. But yeah, I agree with you guys as far as the surprise is concerned. I think that's what we'll see. It will be an intelligent flight mode that we haven't even thought of that will be in there. It will be, you can almost guarantee at this point, it will be software related. It
I
will be
guess I'll go.
something-
I really got it now, Bill. It's not only going to be a new, mode like Master 2, but it's going to only work on the vertical video camera, so it can make you overnight TikTok sensation. Not only do you get the vertical video, but you get some cool master shots type of thing in vertical video. I've got it, Bill. I've cracked it, as they say.
Now, do you guys remember when I had on that photojournalist who uses drones? Gail's her name.
Yes.
She lives over in the UK. She's American, and and she's been in a lot of these countries, Afghanistan and whatnot, and everything.
Well, you remember you had some trouble with that show. I remember some audio. And
Yeah,
well,
she didn't click the StreamYard link, and I was just having all kind of issues, but we finally got her connected. And one of the things that she did talk about with the Anafi that a lot of the military liked, and I don't want to say military, but how they do are inspecting for bombs under bridges, is the Anafi with the feature of being able to look up, okay, and go under these bridges to be able to see things like if there are mines or explosive devices under there, and they use those a lot. And that's one of the drones that she said that she used was an Anafi, believe it or not. And and she liked that capability as well too, of being able to look up with that.
And that show was a couple years ago when the Anafi was more of a current drone.
Right. Yeah. Right. And for her, and it's interesting, I'll just digress for a quick second, finding out what it was, what she told me, what she had to go through to be able to use a drone was just crazy. It was just off the charts. And, my hat's off to her for her great photojournalistic work. And I'd like to, I'd like to get her back on again on a weekend and spend an hour or so with her and talk to her again and see how things are.
Charles in the chat is asking whether the new RC be compatible with the Mini 2, Bill. And that's a good question, Charles. But here's what I know is, Bill, when I put a video up about the Mini 3, I get more questions about the DJI RC controller than I do the drone. I almost think I got to order that new controller because that seems to be the most interesting component of the whole kit for a lot of people. Do you find the same thing, Marcus?
Yeah,
there's big interest in that controller, even almost more so than the drone itself.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you, Ron. There is a lot of interest in that controller. So there's a lot of facets to that whole controller thing. What I'm hoping, Ron, is that you'll be able to use your RC Pro with this Mini 3
on day one, not 6 months later.
That's my point. On day one, and that will help somebody like you. You'll just be able to buy just the drone only, and go from there.
I wonder whenever we do see the official release and they put out that great promo video where they have great shots from all around the world and they give you those specs. I wonder that night when we see that great promo, they will say for certain in that promo and the specs, what RCs this drone will work with.
And conversely, their new DJI RC, I would like to know what it will work with it. Well, could I use that with my Air 2S and with my Mavic 3? That'd be cool.
We'll figure out the build. Will we know that? Will we know all these questions
I think so.
The night that comes out, or will they kind of keep that real vague and word so loosely that we won't have a good idea until the early review videos from your Aldrins and your Kelly Shores and.
Yeah, I think we'll find out right away. And I think what they'll do is, because they did this with the Mavic 3 release, like they started the video like at 10 o'clock and then it wasn't available. You couldn't hit the buy button until 10:30 because while I was watching it, I kept cycling the page, okay, to try to get, and the links weren't
It was much earlier for Marcus side in Hampton that night at Spin Up.
Yeah,
and our good friend Michael Wright, who was in charge of the affairs that night.
Mike Wright did not hesitate. The guy, he is decisive.
He's got a quicker buy button than Marcus does, Bill.
That's pretty fast. Okay, that's pretty fast.
He's the fastest gun in East Texas.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wanted to kind of wrap things up. Want to get your thoughts, and then I just want to put in another shameless, selfless promotional plug here. We're going to have the cream of the crop on come, the release party. My two esteemed co-hosts right here, Johnny Alfonso will join us. Captain Ray Kelly will join us. Matt Cundiff will join us. We're going to have a great crew here, and we're gonna dissect
it'll be
this.
champagne and
We're sparing no
decorations.
expenses for the backstage people.
Philip Mignon.
Philip Mignon, and Asti Spumanti, and we're just gonna and Caviar. We're not gonna hold anything back here.
Hey, hold on. Mark Fisher says we can't end the show now. He won't let us.
Oh, okay. Well, and you know what? In order to entice Mark Fisher, okay, Mark, we'll have Shirley Temples for you, okay?
Yeah, and a free review of the Mini 3 for you.
Listen, Mark Fisher, with his ins with DJI, he probably already has the Mini 3, and he's probably.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah,
I'm sure he does. So, yeah, Marcus, any closing thoughts for tonight?
Hey, listen, this is an exciting time. Anytime there's a new drone like this, it's really exciting. But and we all say it, don't wait for whatever that new thing is. Get out and fly what you got. We're getting into the really perfect time of the year to fly drones. The springtime weather and the fall weather is always my favorite. So, folks, get out there and fly them and have fun.
Absolutely. Ron.
Thank you, Marcus. Yeah, all I'm going to say is, the same thing. It's nice to get excited about this drone. We know all the specs, but please don't pre-review. Wait until you actually see the proofs of the pudding. Wait until you actually see the video and the photos from it, and even more so, I can't really tell for sure until I have it in my own hands. I see it on my own computer that I can tell you definitely how good something is or something's not. So, that's my things. Get excited, but temper the excitement a little bit and make a wise buying choice when it does come out. So that's it. So I hope maybe next time we gather together, we can stop talking about leaks and rumors, and we can talk about the actual specs. So what do you think, Bill? What's your final preparation?
I agree. We've digested, dissected, depicted, and shown you all the pictures that we've seen. All the specs that we know about. There's very little left to really find out about, except the actual date and time it will be released, which that should be forthcoming real soon, and also when they will ship. That's kind of still up in the air just a little bit, but we'll find all this out. And I don't think it will be a large gap. I really don't personally. And like Marcus says, number one, don't be waiting on a drone to get out there. If you have one right now, make sure you get out and fly it, because the weather will get better. I know Marcus said he's expecting some snow up there in May. Yes, just crazy stuff. But if you get a chance, get out there and enjoy your drones and fly them, because that's what this is all about. That's what we have a lot of fun here. And Rotor Talk Live, Drone Nation has a lot of fun. I know the other shows, they have a lot of fun as well too. And that's the name of the game for us. We want you guys to go out there.
And Bill, quickly, it would dare snow a Mini 3 release day, Bill.
Absolutely. Okay. And make sure you stay tuned to us for the release party. Okay. We're going to have a great time. It will be a lot of fun. Make sure you guys tune into that. This is shaping up to be, in my opinion, one of the best launches and one of the best drones that DJI has ever had. So we have this to look forward to. It should probably be next Tuesday, but we'll make sure that everybody will know, and we'll put out ample postings.
Just stay close to your computer around the beginning of next week, right, Bill?
Absolutely. Stay close. We'll get this information out there so you guys will be ready to see us. And I want to thank all the great people that stopped tonight in the chat. I mean, Sean from Air Photography, Lon was in the chat tonight. Mikey was in the chat tonight. We had our usual wonderful crew: Stephen Ewing, Michael Wright, Greg Pittman, and Art was out there. A whole host of you guys, and thank you all so much for watching us week in and week out. And, not only just for Rotor Talk, Drone Nation, and other shows, Coast to Coast Drones with Bill Thomas, everybody out there. We really appreciate you guys taking time out of your week to watch us. It really is great. It's an exciting time. We're all excited about it. And the last thing I have to say is, remember, guys, it's always a great day to fly. Take care, and we'll see you.